Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today we're going to be doing something kind of interesting that may or may not actually be a felony. Let me explain. So my gauge doesn't work fully. This is actually aftermarket. Here, let me show you. So like the lights work and all that, but when I turn the lights on, my indicators work, but my gauges do not glow. As you can probably tell, that would get very frustrating at night because I can't tell how fast I'm going. Still haven't gotten any tickets, but I'm not going to take any more chances. So I have another gauge cluster that I'm going to be putting in today. Obviously, it's a different mileage, so I have to find out how to roll the miles forward on that gauge, which normally would be a felony, but since I'm going to be matching it to my current mileage anyways, I don't think it would be because this is kind of a special case. I don't know. I just don't want a bunch of cops showing up at my door, you know? So that's what we're doing today. So here's the new gauge cluster. You can notice some differences between this one and the one I have currently right off the bat. The one I have right now has white gauges. They light up kind of cool. So I think, so the one I had was aftermarket. So it had the white gauges that lit up really cool, but it had a bunch of wires sticking out of it. It had like an external box that gave it power and stuff. It was a mess and it stopped working. So now I have this stock one from another Eclipse. I got it off of ricksracing.com. So I have to change the miles on this one because my car has like 137,000 something around there. This has 112,281 miles on it. So I'm gonna have to find out how to change the odometer. The gauge cluster's apart now, but I'm not gonna show you guys how to turn back the odometer because I don't know if that's legal. So I don't like doing this. I kind of hate doing this because you're not really supposed to do this. I don't want to look at my car's speedometer and wonder, wait a minute, how many miles am I at? So I'm gonna change this. So before I start digging into the new gauge cluster, I'm gonna mess around with the old one, see if I can figure out how to do this. Again, I'm not going to show you guys how to do this because I'm not sure if that's legal or not. I don't know if this whole thing is legal or not, but I'm going to do it because I want my car to have the correct miles on the speedometer. So yeah, I'm doing this. So I'm going to take the stock gauge out and mess around with that, figure out how to do this before I start messing with the new one. But please take note. I have 137,603 miles on my car right now. Those are the exact miles that I'm going to put on the new gauge cluster. I'm not misrepresenting miles or anything like that. I'm still not totally sure if I'm supposed to do this, but like I said, I want to be able to have the correct miles showing in my car. So, without further ado, let's do this. If I were to start driving my car without the gauge cluster, would the check engine light come on? I don't know. The world may never know. So these are the two gauge clusters kind of side by side. This is the one I have right now. This is the new one. So this one has the white gauges that light up real cool. 137,603 miles. This is the new one, the stock one. This one's some kind of aftermarket doohickey. This is actually from a stock car. So this one should work properly. Should work properly. That's the key word there. I mean, it'll work. Okay, so here's my old gauge cluster in pieces. As you can see, this one had some kind of weird wires coming off of it, while this one does not. So this was some kind of weird aftermarket thingy that I just started cutting the wires off because I didn't want that mumbo jumbo all over the place. I'm gonna figure out how to roll the miles on this so I can do it on this because I don't want to break that. I can break this though, I don't care about this. And we're good to go. And there we go, the install is done. I'm kind of digging the look of the black gauges, you know, kind of the black on black layout there. Now I just need to make sure it works. So when I drive the car, I'm gonna be checking for three things. One, I wanna make sure that the gauge lights work when I turn on the lights. Two, I want to make sure that the speedometer still works because when I had to get to all the mechanisms and stuff, I had to pop off the speedometer needle. And then when I put it back on, it didn't quite move as much as it did. So I want to make sure that that's still giving me an accurate speed reading. And then I want to make sure that it's still counting miles correctly. I want to make sure I didn't like strip anything out or anything like that. So without further ado, let's go for a drive. Well, I'm not going 55, but okay. I don't see any dash lights coming on other than the blinker and stuff. Well, this kind of sucks. Okay, so the speedometer does work. It's going up, but it just adds 60 miles an hour to all of my speeds. So I'm going 20, but the speedometer says 80. Minor issue, you know, minor issue. So the miles are going up on the trip recorder, whatever you call that, the mileage below the mileage. I just want to make sure that the actual mileage will spin as well. Just want to make sure I didn't break any gears or anything like that. Everything's running normal. Boost gauge works, temp gauge works, fuel gauge works. My oil pressure gauge is not working though. And like I said, my speedometer is way off. All right. I just put a full mile on my car and looks like everything's functioning kind of properly. Time to turn around. Now I've got kind of a choice to make. I either keep the stock gauges because they look stock. I think they look better. They're a bit cleaner, but they don't, it's not completely functional as you guys saw. Or I stick with the aftermarket ones that have all working gauges. It just doesn't look as cool. I'm probably just going to go back to what I had before. It kind of sucks that I kind of wasted, I don't even know what this was, like $40, something like that. But I mean, kind of sucks because the whole reason why I bought a new gauge cluster was that I needed the gauge lights to turn on so I could see how fast I'm going at night. Not that I'm speeding or anything, but kind of sucks that it ended up not working out either way. So I'm just going to throw the old one in, make sure that one still works right, and call it a day, to be honest. At the end of the day, what really matters is that the car, you know, works. At least I can drive the car, right? I just may not be able to know how well I'm driving it at night. But, you know, at the end of the day, the car still drives, the car still works. I'm alive, so I'm happy with that. So yeah, I'm just gonna throw the old gauge cluster back in and call it good there. Okay, I'm gonna try something. It's kind of stupid, and it may not work very well at all, but I'm gonna try. So I want to keep the stock gauge in. So to fix the speedometer problem, I'm gonna try something kind of sketchy. So I'm going to start the car, let the speedometer kind of go to the 60 mile an hour mark where it normally goes, and then I'm going to stick this right in there to kind of reset it, you know, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I'm not sure this will work, to be honest. I think this is kind of stupid, but I don't know, I'm kind of desperate at this point. Haha! I think that'll work. It's working so far. That's because I'm not driving. I'm gonna drive. Okay, so that kind of worked. So what I'm gonna do is, it's about 10 miles an hour off right now. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm going to start driving. There's a little speed sign over there that tells you how fast you're going, and then I'm gonna take that, and then once I find like 40 miles an hour, then I'll slap the little needle on. I know, this is really stupid, but I'm trying to make this work. Okay, the needle's placed. It's pretty spot on. I'm going about 40 and that said 39. So that's perfect. That's just what we want. I can't believe that worked. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it works. That's crazy. I'm really dumb, but it worked. So let's go. I'll be getting my tax returns in about a week or so, and then I'll be able to fix my door. So my driver door right here, this door right here, is not functional. I can't use it because it'll practically fall off if I open it. I have brand new hinges, and I've got a new pillow right there. I'm gonna take them all to the body shop. They're gonna have the car for about 4 days, and then I will have a functional door, which will be so nice because I've been climbing in through the passenger door every single time I get inside the car, which gets a little annoying and kind of embarrassing, to be honest. I have some front bumper quick releases, my tow hooks like I told you guys. I've got some brake rotors and brake pads because my brakes are about to be bad. My rotors have been warped for like ever, so I've got new slotted rotors, which will be nice. I think that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next video.